All right, welcome back to 1 Point in 2 minutes. Today we're going to do a little read, Kevin Leman's The Way of the Shepherd. Yes, we're out in the sort of land where shepherds would keep their sheep. It's a bit rugged, it's a bit dangerous if you're not paying attention. Very steep, very craggy. The Way of the Shepherd by Dr. Kevin Leman, guy who's really more well known for his books on child rearing, parenting, and a lot of work for school teachers. Built this really small little book, kind of a business fable around how to lead people, and it relies, as you might expect from the name, relies on the image of a biblical shepherd, somebody who had to watch sheep and care for sheep by himself for long periods of time out in the elements, where there are wolves, where there are all sorts of things looking to kill those sheep, including, and not least of which, the sheep themselves running into danger because, well, sheep are very, very stupid. So the way that Kevin Leman tells this book is actually still very uplifting to the human condition, but he's relating how business leadership works to how a shepherd has to care for his sheep. So here's the 1 point. The one key point is that the leader is responsible to be as close to his people or her people as much of the time, as often as possible, while constantly looking out for their best interests. It looks really living life closely with your people, knowing them well, knowing their families, knowing their weaknesses, their strengths, their hopes and desires, as well as their fears, and using that knowledge to be able to coach and guide them into the way that they experience meaning and purpose in their work. He uses two metaphors towards the end of the book, the staff of leadership and the rod of correction. So a shepherd, you may remember from the front of this book here, you may remember seeing a shepherd with some sort of a curved stick. So shepherds actually had two different things. They had the staff, which had the curved crook, so you could hook that curved crook or the curved bend of the staff around a sheep to pull it away from danger, to pull it away from the edge of a cliff, because sheep will just walk right off an edge of a cliff, to pull the sheep back into the herd. But he also carried this thing called a rod, which is really more properly known in our day as a club. And the club is kind of what it sounds like, to give the sheep a good whack on its backside whenever it was doing something that might be harming the other sheep. For example, biting the sheep, or if it was continuously wandering off, it would go from using a shepherd's staff, he would move instead and pull that rod, that club, and give the sheep a good whack. And that sounds a bit like maybe corporal punishment for people, but of course there's a metaphor here. The metaphor is that sometimes our team needs a gentle move to put them back on track, but when they don't, you have to be willing to enforce strong discipline so that you protect the culture of your team and protect the entire flock. Because one sheep doing things wrong can damage lots and lots of sheep. One sheep that's biting the other sheep will drive off many dozens or many hundreds of sheep. So as a business metaphor, The Way of the Shepherd's a nice, easy read, something to sit and read a chapter at a time though, and think through it over your morning espresso or herbal tea. And I encourage you to pick it up. Kevin Leman has written a great book. So that's my 1 point. Thanks for joining.